Jesus paid it all to him I owe. Sin had left the crimson stain, he washed it white as snow. Sin had left the crimson stain, he washed it white as snow. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. Y'all, it is May the 12th, 2023, and today the topic is Irreconcilable Differences. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. I hope that you all had a great day yesterday. Mine was just fun. Real quick recap of yesterday, man. The most I did, I went to church and did my gig, and then after that came on back home. NJ had a class, and then we went and took a walk, y'all. We took a little family walk, and it was nice just getting out and whatnot. I think it's something that my husband wants to start incorporating a little bit more often with all of us and stuff. And I'm like, hey, I'm open to it. It was nice. We went out yesterday evening, and so it was a nice evening walk. So it wasn't like too hot or anything. We walked all the way to the nearby gas station or whatever, and it just was nice, man. A nice little family moment. So yeah. I guess I'm looking forward to us having more times like that, and doing more and whatnot. I want us. Well, I was telling my husband this morning. I was like, I want us to kind of. I want to do more things with NJ, and so since it is warming back up, it seems like we'll have more time to do things like that, or get outside with him and stuff like that. So yeah, overall yesterday was nice, and yeah, I woke up this morning at some random times. It was funny because I want to say when I looked at the clock, it said 3:06, and then I blinked, and then it said 3:12 or whatever. So I don't know which time I woke up, but either way, I woke up to some information, and that information kind of was bittersweet, to be honest. I guess on one hand, it kind of signifies the end of something, but on the flip side, it, helps me, at least in this moment and whatnot. So, so I was just kind of letting the parties that, are included know, the information that I had received. And on one hand, I was kind of, I guess, seeking the Lord for wisdom. I just kind of started to write down my thoughts. And as I did that, I felt led to go talk to my husband, even though I was like, man, he's probably asleep. But he wasn't. He was wide awake, y'all. He was wide awake. And so I went to go chat with him about everything for a moment, and that gave me some wisdom and whatnot. And I'm like, just thanking God for him to even be awake and bright-eyed and still and all the stuff, because he was working on something in his office and whatnot. And I thought he might have been asleep or something, but nope. So anyway, so yeah, I would say, or the reason I'm sharing that part of my morning with you guys is because I think it is somewhat the inspiration for today. I mean, I know when we hear the phrase irreconcilable differences, you're probably thinking about marriage, you're thinking about divorce, you're thinking about, because that's usually what it's referring to. But I guess today I'm kind of just talking about relationships in general. Because, there's friendships, there's work relationships, there's all kinds of relationships that you may have some irreconcilable differences, right? And yeah, even though we may not fully understand someone else's perspective and point of view and things like that, I guess overall what I see or what I'm feeling here is that, like I told you all, I think it was on Monday, that God is calling us to be like him, right? And to love like him and to have a lowly heart like him. I feel like these are all things that were addressed throughout the week. And so it's crazy that here I am on Friday, I guess, wrapping it up in some way. I don't know if it was some type of, was this a series? And I didn't know. I don't know. But basically, I guess I'm again being reminded to, have the heart and mind of Christ, right? And in this situation, um, and at the end of the day, I'm okay. Like, I'm okay with where things are. I mean, would I have wanted a different outcome? Sure, but on the flip side, I do understand, like I shared with you guys last week, that sometimes people, we all got to do what's best for us. And, God brings us to people for a while in a season. And sometimes, and sometimes the season is done and up and whatnot. And so, and that's okay as well, um, so as I try to, I guess make some sense of my current situation, and I know I'm not being completely transparent with you guys about everything or whatever, because I mean it's not say it's not that deep, but I don't feel led to like go into details and whatnot. But I'll just say like overall, this is where the inspiration for today's topic comes from, and I hope that it will encourage and inspire you. So when I looked up the definitions of irreconcilable as well as differences, this is what I found. Irreconcilable says representing findings or points of view that are so different from each other that they cannot be made compatible. Found that to be interesting this morning. I was like, okay, interesting. But then when I looked up the definition of difference, it says a point or way in which people or things are not the same. So to me, those definitions felt similar. Like I was like, so you're saying different differences? Like, I mean, I don't know. But basically, yeah, that's what the definitions of those two words have to say. And again, I don't know too much about this in regards to, again, divorce and things like that, because again, this is what people use as like their reasons for getting divorced. Irreconcilable differences. And like I get it when I hear the word, right? Or the words irreconcilable differences, but reading these definitions, I don't know if they, not say they didn't help, but like I feel like there's something still like up in the air in regards to that. And I mean, I get it. I mean, maybe the definition is just fulfilled in the first one, where it says here at the end of it, saying that, that the points of view are so different from each other that they cannot be made compatible. I guess just that definition of irreconcilable defines irreconcilable differences to me, but I don't know. That's just something I thought about on the side. That may not have anything to do with anything, but so yeah, I guess just reflecting on all of these things. There was a lot of things in my heart and mind this morning. And I could have talked about a lot of different things, honestly. Some things is, totally maybe a little R-rated. I don't know. That's all. Why did I bring that up, Lord? Anyway. But since Lord let me hear, right? Let's get into these verses. So Proverbs 17:17, it says, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. I found that word for interesting today, like for adversity. It kind of made me think about like, well, perhaps, because I feel like I may have heard in the past, and maybe this is one of those things that, is lost in translation. And I feel like I've also heard this verse said like in adversity. But the verse I read today said for adversity. And in this moment, it makes me just think about like, having people there in the midst of your trials and tribulations and adversities, or whatever the case is. Like, because even, for example, if I think about my current situation and whatnot, and like I said, there's some things I'm not fully understanding, and sure, I would love to like, just be able to talk and things like that and get an understanding. But on the flip side, I'm like, well, and it makes me doubt, right? It makes me doubt, myself, my character, like, the things that I've tried my best to do, right? It kind of makes me, question or doubt those things. Because at the end of the day, I guess the way I look at life is, yeah, okay, I go through things and things happen to me, right? And some things may be, caused by or in part by others. But on the flip side, I take a look at myself a lot as well. I did it in the cultivation period, specifically, and that's me writing it all down. But for whatever reason, the Lord has put in me to start to like look at myself and see like and make sure that, again, checking my own heart, checking my own motives, checking myself, you know what I mean? And not just putting it on the other parties, but looking at myself to make sure that like I'm in order, right? Or I'm walking according to the will of God and things like that, right? And um, so yeah, like when I'm going through different situations, or if I go through similar situations, like I feel like the same type of situation is happening or whatever, I'm like, well, Lord, did I miss something? Am I learning something and did I miss it? Is there something else I should have done differently? Is there something else I could have done differently? Things of that nature. And so, but I guess I share again all of that to say that, even in the midst of me having those questions, on the flip side, I do have people that are still here, right, in my life, that do kind of give me some confirmation or bring some like ease to my thoughts, to not like beat myself up completely, to say that, what, at the end of the day, if I was just horrible or whatever the case is, I don't think the people that are here would be here. So it's just one of those things. I mean, it's just finding balance. If you're someone that's like, oh, I don't question myself at all, you know what I mean? If you're out here thinking that you're, God's gift and everything like that, then, you might need to humble yourself a little bit and look at yourself in the mirror and make sure, that there's not a plank in your own eye, right? While you're looking at the sliver in your brother's eye, right? But on the flip side, don't beat yourself down either. At the end of the day, don't look at yourself as the lowest of low. At the end of the day, you are, beautifully and wonderfully made. You are someone that is full of purpose and things like that. And so, and we have to be at peace with understanding that sometimes, as they say, things change or seasons end or however they say. And, I guess I feel like I want to go deeper about that and study one day to just really like, I know the Bible talks about there's a time and a season and things like that. But I don't know. I kind of think maybe one day I will kind of study about like, just people in seasons, because people say that all the time. They're like, oh, well, you're getting elevated and everybody can't go with you. And, you hear these type of things all the time. But on the flip side, I'm like, I mean, I don't know, balance, balance. But anywho, let's keep going. So then 1 Peter 4:8, it says, above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Even in spite of like the different situations that I've gone through, right? I still got love for people. I don't like hate nobody or, or anything like that. And, I think if I ever see people again, or maybe had the opportunity to work with people again, or whatever the case is, if the Lord sees fit for me to do it, I wouldn't mind, and things like that. And so this may be one of the things that can be an example of, loving each other earnestly, loving each other the way that Christ loves us. At the end of the day, in spite of whatever we do, he still is here with open arms for us every day. And, again, we are supposed to be a reflection of that. And so, so hopefully no one has any hate in their heart today, nobody that's listening to the sound of my voice. But if you do, right, then maybe, seek the Lord about some peace and wisdom in regards to how to get to the place where you can love earnestly, regardless. So just something to think about. Let's keep going. First Thessalonians 5:11, it says, therefore, encourage one another and build one another up just as you are doing. So yeah, man, that's where it pays to, I guess, have the brothers, right? The what does the other verse say here? It said, yeah, it said a brother is born in adversity. That's where it pays to have those type of individuals, right? Or excuse me, is born for adversity. Yeah, it does pay to be in or have good relationships. I know some of the verses in the Go Deeper section address like what it's like to be alone and whatnot. And obviously, God said in the beginning, it's not good for man to be alone, and things like that. And now, even though I know my mind did get engulfed in things about marriage and whatnot earlier, I'm not necessarily referring to like being single and things of that nature. Because some of us may be called to be single, right? Or things like that. But there's still relationships that you have, right? There's still family, there's still friends, there's still work relationships, there's still all these different types of relationships that you still have to engage in, that I believe that we're all called to engage in, fellowship and things of that nature. And so yeah, this is how we can, or this is what we can do to it says here plainly, encourage one another and build one another up. Speaking of, Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron and one man sharpens another. I know I shared with you guys in the past about, my ex and how he would say that verse and how he would, like I said, it was a mentally and verbally abusive situation. I haven't done a story time video or anything about that yet. I said I was going to do something like that, but we'll see. So I can explain all that stuff if I can even remember it, or whatever. Or maybe I've said enough because I feel like I've shared a lot on the juice about that situation at some point. So, but regardless, today I looked at that verse a little bit differently. Instead of being like triggered or like, not say offended or instead of having a negative feeling about seeing the words iron sharpens iron, I could, I guess I took a moment to reflect on like the different people that I met in my life and how those different interactions have shaped me in some way, to be who I am that y'all see before you all today, or maybe listening to today, right? So yeah, each and every interaction is important, and so yeah, and so hopefully again, the relationships that we have, whatever type of relationship they are, hopefully they are the type of relationships that are encouraging you, building you up, shaping you and molding you into be and sharpening you, right, to be whoever God created you to be, as well as hopefully that is doing that for others as well, right? Hopefully anybody that encounters me is getting sharpened by me to be closer to who God created them to be. So yeah. So then John 13 and it's either 54 or 34, y'all can go confirm, but it says, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. So at the end of the day, I thought I was done writing down verses. I thought I had wrote the whole iron sharpen iron thing, but the Lord just kind of was showing me more verses, and then he showed me this one. And at the end of the day, this is the new commandment, right? This is what we are to do. Again, regardless what people are doing to us, regardless of anything, we are supposed to be loving one another and treating people the way that we want to be treated. And, that's ultimately the juice this morning. That is the juice. I mean, we might find ourselves in situations where there are irreconcilable differences, but hopefully, again, with every interaction, with every relationship, with every person you meet or whatever the case is, hopefully you're either growing and getting better and being sharpened by the relationship, or hopefully you're leaving that with someone But regardless, you can always still love the person. And, hey, that's the juice. That is the juice. The Bible verse of today is John 1:12. It says, but as many as received has to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. Friends, I hope that you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. Don't forget that today is Friday, so we have a new episode of the GSL Talk Show going live tonight, and it's all about Dr. Melissa Rupp and supernatural stuff, y'all. So be on the lookout, 7 p.m. And yeah, y'all have a great Friday. Bye-bye. There you go. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Anybody listening to the sound of my voice, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing all those wonderful things. Thank you to those that, have subscribed and that have supported in any aspects. Like I said, I'm good overall, y'all. It does feel like a chapter has closed. It does feel like, something has ended or whatever. But on the flip side, I still got love and I still have joy, and I will take the good and move forward, and we'll see where it all goes and everything like that. Like I said, I don't feel led to share details with y'all, so sorry about that. It's not that deep in regards to that. I think I've shared what I needed to share in regards to it, and that's it. That's all I really got to say about it, unless the Lord wants me to say something else at some other time. But regardless of that, y'all, again, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. And yeah, I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. I see I got people tuning in. It's like, hey, good morning to y'all. If y'all want to chat with me real quick, I got some time, so I'll sit here for a couple of seconds and see. But if not, again, no worries. I appreciate you all for tuning in. And yeah, y'all have a great, great Friday. And I'll talk to y'all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye.